Shanti, welcome to Vikti Parivar. So, in the month of June, we did experience, practice being soul consciousness, and also became introverted. And every single day, we had beautiful homework point. And Mohini Didi also explained us very well. So, I'm sure everyone had wonderful practice during month of June. And of course it was Mama's month, so definitely many good experiences with Mama's, thinking about her specialities. And now we are starting our new month of July, and today we will be starting our new homework. So new homework is a beautiful topic: accumulate the power of thoughts and become an instrument for elevated service. So we'll do first day homework. So day 1, the power of thoughts. Avyakdeshari. With signals, power of thoughts. Nowadays, solar power is accumulated and used to accomplish many tasks. Similarly, accumulate the power of thoughts within you, and you will be able to fill others with power and make their tasks successful. Make those who do not have any courage courageous with your words, as well as the subtle power of your elevated thoughts. This is the need of the present time. So now we will listen to Mohini Didi.
Om Shanti. Everyone is okay? Yes, very okay. Yeah, that's very good. I think most of you understood what Ramesh Bhai was trying to ask Mama and then got the answer. That when we go to subtle region, go in trance, is the soul leaves body and go up? How does it happen, right? That was, I think, his question. And then once the soul leaves body, soul cannot enter again, right? So that means it's definite that soul doesn't leave body. I can share a little bit about, in the beginning when I started, so used to get really good intoxication. Early morning I will wake up. For 2 hours I will just sit with lot of intoxication, lot of concentration. And then I used to go to the center maybe twice a week. So one Thursday I went in the morning, and so suddenly I was intoxicated, my eyes must have got closed, and then I am seeing certain things, like Sri Krishna, and just visions, what we call it, just the visions. And I will just see it and feel happy about it. So gradually, like more and more pull, and pull is so strong that you can't resist, like your eyes gets cold and closed, and then you see the visions. But there was no communication, I didn't understand. But after some time, like when I will see Baba, first was more Sri Krishna and some of those scenes, but then after that, when I start seeing Baba, and I'm seeing that there is no sound, right, in subtle regions, and still we have to understand. So I will find Baba's lips are moving a little bit, and I won't understand, Baba is saying, but I knew that Baba is giving some message. And then as I keep going on, then, like when his lips are moving, in my mind the thoughts are being transmitted. Like I start understanding. So there are different stages in the trance. First one is to have visions, which so many get, right? And then was that you understand what Baba says. And the third one is that you take the message and bring back the message. Some answers or whatever it is. So it's so interesting that we call it the third eye. It's like it's like something, a screen opens here, and you are seeing everything on the screen. I remember one time when I was very young, these days they have traffic lights, but there was a time where a policeman will be directing traffic, right? So how they do it, go this way, go. So there was someone from the village. He didn't understand why this person is moving hands and giving all these directions. But then those who stayed in the towns, they start knowing that he's saying to stop now or go this direction, or clarity happens. And there are later on now, we know that there are many, many people who are able to kind of understand, even with the people who are not speaking but signals. They understand the language. So soul doesn't leave definitely, because if soul leaves, as Ramesh Bhai said, cannot enter. Intoxication, many of you must have experienced, right? Sometimes you are very, very nasha chadta hai. Who has experienced intoxication? Many of you, right? And in that intoxication, you feel you are being pulled, right? Many tell me I get pulled, I reach to certain point, then I drop off. So it's like you are being pulled, but you want to maintain full connection with the body, right? It's very important. We don't want, see, one is Baba's pull, but also if we are not attentive, I don't hear much, but there are a lot of energies around, no? They pull you, which is not a good experience, right? So that's why it's also good to, I am soul in the body. So I am pulled, but also I stay very connected to the body. So it's a very much is really what you experience, right? Intoxication, then it's like, we talk about third eye. Third eye is our intellect, divine intellect. But third eye could also be where you can have your visions. So the homework which we have, thoughts, power of thoughts. Nowadays, solar power is accumulated and used to accomplish many tasks. Similarly, accumulate the power of thoughts within you, and you will be able to fill others also with power. Make their tasks successful. Make those who do not have any courage, courageous with your words, as well as the subtle power of your elevated thoughts. This is the need of the present time. This one is very important. Subtle power of your elevated thoughts. So there are two things. One is don't waste the thoughts, but also create elevated thoughts. Right? It's not only I have not to think, but think elevated, not only positive, but elevated. And it does work, right? Because everything what we do, this beginning, the seed is thought, right? Whatever is the quality of the thoughts, our drishti, our words, our actions, everything depends on quality of thoughts. So one is positive thoughts, other is elevated thought. Shubh and Sresht. It's like very, very pure thoughts towards everyone. So elevated thoughts, Baba says, are also very, very important. So experiment, no, in 24 hours until tomorrow evening. See, look at your thoughts. Try to save thoughts and create elevated thought. Somebody says, will it work or not? Sure, it will work. It's elevated, right? How will it happen? It's going to happen, definitely will happen. So, because of the power of thought, the words which you speak, words which you speak will always happen. I have seen dadis just saying, it's going to be okay. And it works. It's like we call it blessing. Oh, Dadi has given me blessing. It's going to work. Right? So more and more our elevated thoughts will increase our capacity to give blessing. Like courage, Baba said, or any kind of need is there of the soul. You say it, it's going to work. That's how Brahma Baba, Mama, Dadi served. And each one of us now, we all are at service. So we have to use the power of thought, power of elevated thoughts. So we're not only saving it as power, but we are also creating through elevated thoughts. That's what Baba is giving us as homework. Om Shanti.
Good evening, Didi ji. Hello. I'm not sure, is she hearing me? Hello, Didi ji. Om Shanti.
Oh yes, what even Om Shanti.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so this has been a particular week and a particular weekend. And I'm wondering, for you, is it just it's been folded into the drama? You know, okay, that was the page in yesterday's diary or last week's diary, but many, many things went on, and we know that the guests left with very good feelings. Then you had people come from Madhaban, Dr. Pertab, Mrityunjay Bai, all of that, Sister Jayanti arriving. So lots of action. And for you, what is your takeaway from this weekend? Or is it just another weekend in the diary of the head of the Brahma Kumaris?
Yeah, it's really interesting. Then Dr. Pratap came, and now Shushma Didi is coming. So
I spoke to her. She's already here.
yeah, she arrived, I saw.
Yes.
I mean, I just take every day and see what is there, because now what we realize, somebody said today, that as if regional retreat hasn't ended, no?
Mm-hmm.
Because
It's
since
true.
then, very big retreats. Now, our dialogue was very good. Before that was couples retreat. But one thing what we find is that they are so overfull, like a Vyakti Parivar, there are so many people. There are 30, 14 waiting, and even if one person extra come, there is no bed, in the sense we're using every space.
Wow.
And it's lot of people. So that means food for 250, right? So when 250 food will be cooked, will be served. So we realizing that, whether they are Baba's children or Lokik people, everyone is looking forward to be in the gathering and have their good practices, good yoga. Even visitors. And it's so interesting that yesterday I met about three families, one from Hyderabad, one from Hong Kong, there were some from China, and then there was also, it's like many different families. In summer they come and they want to visit Peace Village. So we had been meeting very resourceful people also.
Mm-hmm.
So then from this evening, we are getting more and more now
Yeah.
coming from Avekti Parivar.
So in this July, the idea of elevated thoughts and elevated service, how would you define elevated service? Would this be considered these things, something of the weekend? What is elevated service?
And today, Baba is saying, no, by using the power of thought,
Mm-hmm.
in the sense of one is that those who are doing service, to help them, to cooperate with them, to, as Baba said, increase their courage and
Yeah,
so that is, I think, is the best service at this time.
very
Is
nice.
through our thoughts, through our words. Those who are on journey, they stay very fresh, not tired, and even whatever, because the task is increasing. So when it is increasing, like in Shantivan, they were saying that there used to be, during Baba's dates, there were thousands of people, but now all, whether it is Mansarovar, Gyan Sarovar, whether it is any Sarovar, they're all full because bhattis are there. So one brother was telling me that now every day 9,000 to 10,000 people eat food every day. So that means that much grains, that much
Yes.
vegetables, that much, everything else. So you must have heard they are doing two projects. Some people sponsored. One is that in Tapovan they are creating a kind of, I don't know what kind of machine, but toli will be made and wrapped also same time.
Oh my
And
goodness.
in thousands they could do it now. And other project they're doing is, what is it? This is toli one, and yeah, storage of the grains, because they couldn't find any space in Shantivan because there is stock of many different things. And vegetables, and they generally bring every day. Few trucks go and they get vegetables, but they need enough stock of grains, right? So in Tapovan, they created a very big space now for the grains, It's
Mm.
yeah.
But
So we know that expansion is happening, will be happening.
but
But
this
also I find that, brothers there, sisters, they just keep doing it. It's like, they are happy because people are happy. Yagya is running very nicely, so they are happy. Right? So I think here still it's limited, but it seems it's going to keep increasing more and more.
right, but you had said something, if I can find it now. But for concentration, I think what you said was one, that all relationships are with Baba, and the other thing, that there would be creativity. But I'm also going to touch on this thing. It's a small word, the word courage, because you used it last week and I shared it with the person and said, Didi said, yes, you can do it if you have the courage. And then later the person had the courage and said, actually, I'm only running on courage. So how your words, if I had just said it, then maybe nothing would have happened. Because they knew you said it, then they really did rethink and they find that they had the courage. And so it's a beautiful thing to be able to give to someone is courage, no?
I remember Dadi Janki always used to say that when you keep courage, we say now that if you help yourself, God also comes forward to help you. For me, every day is just the courage that I whole day. So many things happen, so many things you have to deal with. But just keep courage and everything just, even these days, because we have big family here. So in that small room, it's not enough number. So we do it in the big hall, inspiration. All of them come, many are sitting. And today, because there was a program in Manhattan,
Right.
so all the Peace Village Nivasis, many went there, was instruments there. But I think that it's important. Let's do it today, even if it's difficult. Let's do it today. It requires courage, but then I think everyone receives so much for anything. And
Well,
that's
we
the
can,
real, that's the real service. Right?
yeah, we can certainly look and see, your courage. And I suppose that's then when you can give courage to someone else, is when you yourself have courage, but you don't feel you're having courage, but you do. But then when you speak to someone else, then that manifests in them. We,
One of the brother who is kind of caretaker for the place in Shantivan where we live. He
mm-hmm,
called Bhumi Ben. He said, "What is going on? Every day, Sister Mohini in sari sitting and conducting this." So we said, because there is large number, there are more people, and I mean they also watch, but then they see different scenes of drama. You know,
it's,
we were doing in classroom, so background was so beautiful. I
yeah,
didn't realize when people start calling and saying, so beautiful, so beautiful. So, because there was call of time dialogue in the inspiration hall,
right.
so we had to do it in the classroom. But now that is over, then again we are here.
You're
And
back
every
there.
day few are coming for a Vyakti Parivar to help, and so number is increasing also every day.
Yeah. Um, when you were sharing that experience, and I'd like to ask you about things from yesterday's Murli, and the whole thing of burning sanskars, etc. But I'll leave that aside for the moment. But when you were sharing that first experience of perhaps a subtle region or whatever, it was very interesting, how even though you saw Baba's lips moving, maybe not the first time, but at the beginning, and somehow there was no sound, but there was, I could almost use the word a resonance, that there was a resonance, that you knew what he was wanting to say. There's a phenomenon in terms of relationships, and I think they talk about it as limbic resonance. And so it's that sort of thing, especially if you're a caretaker. In other words, you have to have certain qualities like compassion and empathy and what have you, and that you can actually, as a healer, you can affect the brain of the other person so that their brain becomes, resonates with yours, and a healing takes place. And so I understand this happens on the material level, but it was very interesting to hear you talk about it happening, or as I understood it, on that subtle level. Because sometimes we wonder, what is the qualification that enables you to have that? The majority of us do not have it, nor, as Baba said, should we desire it. But there had to have been some qualification in the soul that Baba was able to communicate in that kind of a way. Did you ever think about that?
It's so interesting that a Vyakti Parivar in India is early morning. So
Mm-hmm.
it's 5 to 6 or 6 to 7, right? So this brother sits every morning, he comes, and then he start inviting others. So we are kind of full, 15, 16 of us, which is good because, there is energy. Then
Yeah.
others come to know, then they come, and some from accounts department. So what I find that sharing spirituality, whether it's knowledge or drishti or our timetable, helps souls to have a good experience. And when they have experience, they want to do it regularly. But then lot of changes happen in them.
Okay, yes.
Lot of changes. And like before, if we will, have some kind of needs, or there is some problem with water or this, but they do with so much love now, because they do it with that respect, not as a duty. So it's the changes which happen in them are good for us also, good for them personally, but for us also. But things get done properly. More trust is there. They are available. It's very beautiful to create the relationship which are spiritual, and that is by sharing Baba's knowledge, sharing drishti, and
Right. But it has to be coming from a very clean and pure place. You can't manipulate that in other people, right? That you can't say, okay, I need them to do this and this and this. And so, no, it has, that's what I'm saying, that in the same way as you have that special
what
thing of
helps
subtle
everyone is,
experience,
yeah,
right?
because
But
it's
it's a
very,
subtle thing.
it's
It's a
because
subtle
it's,
thing, but the external result of it is very clear, is very obvious, you
one
know.
important thing is because it's every day, right? So because it's every day, it's kind of brings a regularity, and many will say, oh, if you can do it, why can't we do it? And increases their courage, their regularity. So it's a blessing from Baba that this Avyakti Parivar got started, and it's happening every day. So I think that also helps a lot.
Yeah, it's
Must be Baba's magic, right? I
it,
sometimes feel also dadis, they
do
would
you
also something happen regularly for sustenance of the family.
do you feel there, one thing is the legacy that they've left all of us, no question, that our hearts have been shaped by them. But do you still have that feeling that they're there as entities,
Mhm.
or what?
I just feel it's Baba, dadis, because their love for Yagya, love for Baba's family is so much that they want them to be sustained and
Yeah,
receive, and.
yeah. All right, so it's time. I still so many questions, but there's always a next time, right?
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you, Didi.
Okay, Om
Om
Shanti.
Shanti.